Morning, John.
Morning.
Edward Miller, Georgia driver's license, shot in the chest.
Who found him?
Manager, door was open. We're about wrapped up here, actually, seeing as we've already been here for half an hour.
We know what the DOA was in town for?
No, not yet.
But, we're not bathing anymore?
I ran out of razors. Remind me to pick some up.
It's no forced entry. DOA had all his money on him.
Phone records?
Manager's faxing over to the squad.
Rita and the new girl are gonna run him. Gay John says she seems real nice.
Wore those same clothes yesterday.
I actually bought about 10 of this identical outfit. That way each morning I don't have to waste time wondering what I'm gonna wear.
I think I read Einstein did that same thing.
You hear that? Einstein. Dude was a genius.
Why don't you guys start knocking on doors, huh? So, out all night again?
Which you've never done.
Doesn't suit you, John.
I got it handled. Thanks, though.
Laura Murphy. She transferred over from applicant investigations. Andy Sipowicz. Hey. Greg Medavoy. Baldwin Jones. John Clark.
How's it going?
Great. Looking forward to working with you guys.
Welcome aboard.
Thanks.
Came for you this morning.
Your DOA was single, no kids. I talked to a neighbor of his in Savannah. She said he's a retired doctor. Came to New York to research a book.
Anything on the hotel phone records?
One call to and from a Larry Pragetzer in Jersey City. He's on his way in.
So, you were a detective in applicant investigations?
Right.
Doing background checks on people who want to be cops?
Everybody rags on that unit.
Because you don't do any criminal investigations and you're not on the street.
I did 3 years in uniform up at the 7-5, so don't worry about me out on the street.
Oh, don't listen to him. We're glad to have you here, Laura.
PAB. What does that mean, PAB?
No idea.
We just got a call on a homeless DOA. We're gonna head down there now.
Hey, any word on when the new lieutenant's showing up?
It's supposed to be sometime today.
What the hell is this?
That's a dead rat, Andy.
Here, run this return address. See if it even exists.
You got this? Because we need to head down there.
Yeah, we're covered. Again, glad to have you here, Laura.
Thanks.
PAB. What the hell does that mean?
I don't know.
This is funny to you?
Yeah, come on. It's probably a joke. Like Tommy Doyle, one of the guys you used to work with.
Oh, they'll let anybody in this place.
What's up, kid?
My partner, Rita Ortiz. This is Ted Keogh.
Hey.
Ted and I were at the academy together.
So, detective in the squad, I hear.
Yeah, first day.
How'd you land a plum job like that so quick?
My boss at Applicant Investigations, he promised to fast track me if I gave him 2 years there.
Luck of the Irish over here.
You handling this job?
Yeah. DOA's a Sean O'Leary, shot 3 times in the torso and chest. I've seen him around, had to roust him a couple times. Him and this other character named King Tut.
That King Tut?
No, that's Road Dog, AKA Jason Keys. He found the DOA, then flagged down a radio car.
Did you know the DOA?
Yeah, he was a real bro, too.
Did you see him last night?
We were kicking it with these couple of squares. They were on this, like, field trip thing. But they had money, you know? They were paying for stuff, so...
Field trip thing?
Yeah, it's a homeless outreach program, street race, something like that. I don't know. It was like a guy and a girl. Real squares.
DOA have any beef with anyone?
There's always beefs out here.
Anything specific?
No, he was a real bro, you know? He shared what he had when he had it.
You have a street name?
Yeah, the illness. See, his name's Sean. Then it was Cron, then Chronic, then Chronic Illness, then the illness.
Got it. If you could stick around a little bit, we'd appreciate it.
We were gonna head to Frisco tomorrow.
We're really sorry. Hey, this King Tut the DOA hung out with, think you can get your hands on him?
For you? Anything.
Oh, you're the best.
Still can't believe it happened.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a bit of a shock. How long did you know Dr. Miller, Mr. Preggett, sir?
He was our family doctor. Many years ago, before he moved to Philadelphia, and we stayed in touch since.
Did you know he was in town?
Yes, he called me from the hotel he was staying at.
He mentioned what he was doing in town?
Sightseeing.
He mentioned a book he was working on, maybe the subject matter?
No, not to me.
Did Ed talk about any problems he was having out here or anything like that?
He was single. He never married.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Preggett, sir.
Well, he told me last night that he met a woman in a bar, and when they got back to his room, she wanted money, which was a shock to him. He told me that she yelled at him for wasting her time and made a few threats and left.
You say which bar he met her?
No. But I asked him how old she was, though, and he said she was in her 30s. Well, I told him, Ed, you're 70 years old. No offense, but do you really think that a young woman is going to go back to your hotel and you had no idea that she was a prostitute? He claims he didn't. He always had a bit of an ego, though.
He mentioned anything else in your conversation that might help us?
No. But if I remember anything, I'll give you a call.
All right, thanks for coming in, Mr. Preggett, sir. Hit up the night clerk again at the DOA's hotel. See if he knows the names of the process that work the place.
Sounds good.
New lieutenant's gonna be showing up soon. I got a razor in my locker. You might think about shaving.
I'll wait to see if he has a problem with it.
But you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, the illness. Yeah, his real name is Sean. Yeah, he's a nice enough kid, but he's a pain in the ass when he get drunk, though.
Did you see him last night?
In the afternoon, not last night.
Anybody you know is after him?
Now, why should I tell you that?
Oh, I don't know. Because he's dead?
Well, you know how many times I felt one of y'all's nightsticks in my ribs? Sure, I ain't helping you people.
King Tut, my partner, Rita Ortiz, caught the king on a bad day here. Says he doesn't know anything.
Well, witness said the DOA was hanging around two white kids on a field trip. Name of the organization might have been Street Race. You heard of it?
Oh, come on. Don't think of it as helping a cop. Think of it as helping a friend.
I ain't friends with nobody.
Friends with $20?
Street embrace. That's what they call it. A bunch of guilty rich people who pretend they homeless on the weekend. And they call me crazy.
The Street Embrace a local thing?
Now, how in the hell would I know? Look, are we through up in here? Because I got places to be.
Thanks for your help.
Hey, Ted. Keep an eye on King Tut, will you?
You got it.
This guy's saying it might have been a hooker involved. DOA's cell phone don't come back yet?
Yeah, a couple calls into it. Eric Preggett, sir.
How's it related to the guy we just talked to?
The son.
He's on his way in.
Listen, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be happy to help any way I can.
Thanks for the offer. I'm sure I'll have a ton of questions.
What made you want to be a cop?
I always wanted to be one. Just to make my dad and my brothers too happy.
Not big on you being on the job?
They're all firemen.
Ay.
If you got a beef with firemen, I don't want to hear about it.
Lieutenant Thomas Bale. How's everyone doing today?
PAA John Irvin.
Nice to meet you.
Laura Murphy. Rita Ortiz.
Baldwin Jones.
Greg Bedavoy.
John Clark.
Andy Sipowicz.
So you're Andy Sipowicz.
Yep.
I've heard a lot about you. I'll need a few minutes to get settled in, then you can catch me up on any cases you're working. Later, I'll conduct individual orientation sessions.
I've heard the name Bale from Internal Affairs. You related?
That's me. I realize that carries a certain stigma, but I think you'll find me to be an excellent boss.
Time to start covering your ass will be right about now, guys. On the rat phone, trading rat stories with his rat buddies.
Hey, let's give him a chance, Andy. He seems...
The dead rat. Somebody must have known this guy was going to be our lieutenant soon. Yeah, I get it. That's funny.
I talked to a lady in administration at the last hospital Ed Miller worked. This is in Detroit. He was let go over personality issues. She wouldn't elaborate, but apparently he bounced from hospital to hospital. And she also said that Miller used to be a prominent sexologist in the 60s.
Sexologist? You mean like sex? Like an expert on sex or something?
Easy there, killer.
I'm just asking.
Where are you off to?
Oh, we contacted the Street Embrace organization. It's run out of the Self-Awareness Fellowship place. A description of one of the girls who participated, Zoe Prentice, matches what we got from a witness, so we're heading over there now.
I'll need to know these things.
Sorry you were on the phone.
Interrupt me next time.
Sure. Sorry.
No problem.
Petite squad.
Hey.
Hey.
Eric Pragitzer's on his way up.
No one at Miller's Hotel saw him in the lobby bar. No one saw him walking through the lobby with the woman. Did you catch all that, Lieutenant?
I did. Thank you.
I ran Eric's address. Check that out.
Eric, we wanted to talk to you about Dr. Ed Miller.
Yeah, my dad said he talked to you guys and he told me what happened.
Yeah, well, we saw on Dr. Miller's cell phone records that he had some calls into you yesterday. What was he calling you about?
Oh, suggestions on what to do in New York. You know, he was out here by himself, so.
Did you give him any suggestions as far as places to go? You know, restaurants, bars like that?
No, more landmark type stuff, you know, the Med and Guggenheim.
Hey, Eric, in going through some of the, checklist things we do, we ran your address to see if there were any crimes or police responses, and it says here that you tried to commit suicide 3 years ago.
That's right.
That's a personal matter, obviously, but what jumped out was that it was Dr. Miller who dialed 911.
That's right.
Was he staying with you?
No, it was actually kind of an ironic situation. I was going through a breakup, and it was just a real low point for me, and so I did something really stupid. And Dr. Miller was in town, and he happened to stop by after I did it. I'm glad he did, because it saved my life.
See how that looks a little odd to us?
No. I mean, yeah, I can see how it maybe does, but it's not.
Eric, I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm pretty certain at this point we're not getting the whole story as to what you know about Dr. Miller.
You thinking I killed him? Why in the world would I do something like that?
Were you more than just friends?
Oh, my God. You guys are really tripping now. No. Dr. Miller, he was a lonely old guy and didn't know a lot of people, and he just kind of like clung to my family for some reason. I don't know what else to tell you.
Where were you last night?
Work and then home.
Well, we're gonna need your information if you don't mind.
So, Street Embrace.
Yeah. Oh my God, what a great experience. You guys think we have it rough, right?
In your travels the last few days, did you come across a young homeless guy named Sean O'Leary? His street name was The Illness.
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit. He was gonna leave for San Francisco today.
Well, that's not gonna happen. Sean was shot and killed last night.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Do you know anything about it?
No. Wow. I can't believe that.
While you were getting to know each other, Sean didn't mention anyone he was afraid of?
He was with this hardcore group of homeless street kids called the Gutter Punks. And there was this other subgroup called the Crusty Punks that they didn't get along with. And there's always the old-timer homeless guys, but I think he got along with them. It is, like, wild to see.
But no names?
No.
Who was the guy you were hanging out with who was also with Street Embrace?
Charlie, I think.
Did you guys exchange numbers or anything like that?
No. See, the rules are when you show up, you can't bring any money or personal belongings or food or anything. They really want you to experience being homeless. We had to beg and sleep in shelters.
Sean's friend said you and Charlie were buying things for the group.
I cheated a little. I brought some cash.
The problem we're having is the information Charlie gave to the organizers of the Street Embrace. His ID, his personal and contact info, all of it was fake, but it's important that we find him.
While you guys were hanging out, did he mention anything in casual conversation about his family or where he lived, where he hung out? Anything?
No, because, you know, I wasn't really interested in his story. I was more into the stories of the homeless people. They're not all drunks, you know? Some of them had families and college educations. It's really sad.
Well, if you think of anything.
Sure.
Oh, sounds like a fun way to spend a weekend, huh?
Can I give you some advice, Laura?
Sure.
It's hard enough for a female on the job to get respect. One of the ways to lose it in a hurry is if you're flirtatious with the guys, because they'll just run with it, and the next thing you know...
Who was I flirting with?
I'm just saying, as a general observation.
Well, you didn't generally observe me flirting with a guy, because I didn't, and I don't. If they do, it's usually harmless, and I let it slide, and I don't make a big deal out of it.
Yeah, I know all about that approach, and what I'm saying is if you act like that, you really leave yourself open for a problem down the road.
Keep in mind here, Rita, this is my first day in this squad. This isn't my first day on the job.
Hey, you got your style, I got mine.
I've never had a problem with a guy in a work situation, ever. The only problems I've ever had are with other women on the job. And I don't know why it has to be like that.
I'm just giving you advice. Take it or don't take it.
Kids? 2 daughters, full grown. One married. You?
No. Still looking for Mrs. Wright.
Well, don't be asking any female advice from me, Lieutenant. Whew. Swing and a miss when it comes down to standing the fair sex.
So you're 55, Greg?
That's right.
How much longer do you plan on being on the job?
Is that a hint or something?
No. Not at all. You and Detective Sipowicz are the elder statesmen here, and I look forward to learning from you guys. It's just that I've encountered a lot of cops with your years who are getting out because it's a different job now, you know? And a lot of those guys have had a hard time adjusting to that.
I consider myself a strong detective. I plan on doing this as long as I can.
Good attitude. Looking forward to working with you, Greg.
You too, Lieutenant. Man, you might have a real problem with this guy, Andy.
Might?
No, I'm talking about, like, in terms of him wanting younger detectives. He can mold how he wants.
What do you got?
I'm like 90% sure this is accurate. Eric Pragetzer, the son. 10 years ago, he legally changed his name from Cynthia.
Get out.
I swear to God.
Oh, so he was a woman 10 years ago?
I don't know too many guys named Cynthia.
And the DOA, you were saying that this is some big expert sex guy?
Yeah.
We got to get Eric back in here.
Hey, ballistics got a match off one of the slugs found in your homeless DOA. Came back to a gun registered to a private investigator named Charles Isidore. Comparison came off a shooting he was involved in a couple of years ago, but kept his permit.
That's Charlie. Let's go grab him up. We should talk to the boss first, right? Yep.
Yeah, he told me he loves internal affairs jokes, so, you know, break one out when you're in there.
You're right.
I gotta buzz this chick back real quick. You wanna call Eric for me? Thanks.
Hey, Chief Dick in hand. We're working a homicide.
2 minutes.
Let's me and you get a cup of coffee.
It's almost done brewing. You know, I really don't need a second cup anyway.
I've been putting myself in your shoes, and you've had a real tough run, John. With your dad and then Jennifer. Those are 2 big losses, and anybody would react to that. And I feel like I've given you an appropriate amount of time for you to grieve and do what you need to. But there comes a point when it affects your work and it affects the people you work with. And I mean, are you trying to piss me off because you're doing a hell of a job?
If If you want me to call Eric Pragetzer, I will. There's no use flying off the handle.
It's more than that, and you know it. Now, you're walking around here like a skell, hitting on this new girl like some lech.
Oh, I'm just making conversation.
Who do you think you're talking to?
You know what? Everything you just listed, it's got nothing to do with how I'm performing my job. I mean, have I blown off one day of work? Huh? Have I sandbagged it in one interview?
How many nights you been out tying one on this
Just
week?
listen to what you just said, because it's got nothing to do with work. That's me out having a good time, which I'm entitled to. So if you've got work-related issues with me, lay it out. But if it's got anything to do with how I spend my time after I punch out of this place, I don't want to hear it.
Get your act together, John. I mean it.
Had a little trouble finding you, Charlie. The info you gave to Street Embrace was all fake.
Yeah, I didn't want them hitting me up for fundraisers. I just wanted to experience the 2 days and leave it at that.
What went wrong when you and Zoe were hanging out with Sean O'Leary?
Nothing. Why?
One of the slugs they pulled out of Sean's dead body matches a gun registered to you. So let's skip the tap dance and get to what happened.
What happened, Charlie?
Zoe. You know, her dad's got major bucks. Well, she gets this wild hair to go on the Street Embrace because she wants to find herself. Or piss off Daddy, who the hell knows, but her dad calls my agency. Says he's looking for a young guy to do the Street Embrace, shadow his daughter, keep her out of trouble without her knowing it.
She never knew you were PI?
End of the first night, she made me. I guess her dad had done this before. But she was cool with it. All she tells me is not to get in her way.
So how'd you get mixed up with Sean O'Leary?
It was the second night, and we were all hanging out. Sean, the illness, whatever the hell his name is, he wants to score some dope. So Zoe, she pulls out some cash, which she wasn't supposed to have, and she fronts him. Well, he comes back with some crack, and she wanted ecstasy. But once he put that pipe in front of her, she told me not to interfere.
What went wrong?
Well, I go off to take a piss, and then I hear screaming. So I come running back, and I see Zoe yelling at him, calling him a no-good bum, a piece of garbage, you name it. See, I guess he must have made a move on her, because he says, you'd be lucky to have sex with me, you ugly pig. And that's when her eyes go wide, and she turns to me and says, shoot him. I mean, she was high as a kite.
So you shot him?
Hell no. I tell her, let's get out of here, but she keeps screaming at me to shoot him. And he keeps laughing and calling her an ugly pig. And I can barely keep my eyes open because I haven't slept in the last 2 days. And then, for a second, it looked like she was gonna chill out. So then I guess I let my guard down. Because the next thing I know, she's got my gun out of my pocket and she's pointing it at the illness, daring him to say it again. He did. She shot him 3 times.
What'd you do at that point?
I took the gun from her. I told her that she needed to go her way and that I'd go mine, and that hopefully this wouldn't come back to bite us in the ass.
Hell of a story there, Charlie.
I wish I could have prevented it. I wish I never would have taken that job. And God knows what the hell made her want to hang out with a bunch of winos for a weekend, but that is what happened.
You're gonna need to stick around.
Yeah, I know.
There's no easy way to broach this, Eric, so I'll just lay it out. You changed your name legally 10 years ago, right?
That's right.
And since it was a female name you had before, that would indicate you had a sex change, right?
What does that have to do with anything?
Yes or no?
Yeah.
In looking into Dr. Miller's background, we saw that he was a sex and gender expert back in the day. Did Dr. Miller perform your sex change operation? Eric? Eric.
I think I'm gonna throw up. I'm okay.
What happened last night with Dr. Miller?
Nothing. I don't know. I was at home. I didn't kill him.
Did he or didn't he perform your sex change 10 years ago?
No, I had it done here in the city by Dr. Richard Bouchard. I mean, you could check.
Eric. What the hell is going on here?
Nothing. I don't know. I was at home last night.
This isn't going away. We're not going away. So just tell us what happened. We can help you.
I was at home watching television, and I got up and went to work. I mean, I wrote all that down the last
No
time
one can confirm whether you were home by yourself or not.
I didn't kill Dr. Miller.
You've been carrying around this big secret for 10 years. You thought it was all behind you, and this lonely old man comes back into your life and maybe blackmails you for money or to do things for him that you don't want to do. Now, if something like that happened, Eric, it's all very understandable you're reacting in a bad way.
I worked my job. I'm on my own business. I keep to myself, and I never hurt anybody in my life. I mean, that is a God's honest truth.
Charlie's out of his mind. Out of his mind.
Which part are you disputing?
The part where I shot that guy? I mean, are you kidding me? That's retarded. Not in a million years would I do that.
How'd Sean O'Leary get killed then?
I don't know. Yes, we were hanging out. Yes, I smoked a little, and yes, I probably shouldn't have been doing that, but after Sean tried to force my head down on his crotch, and after he called me those names, I started crying, and I turned around and I bolted.
So Charlie shot him?
I'm not saying that. I don't know what happened, but when I left, Charlie and Sean were standing there.
All right. Well, since it's your word against Charlie's, and you're denying involvement and the bullet matches his gun, this falls on Charlie. He's getting charged with murder. You're okay with that?
Of course I'm not okay with that. Because, in a way, Charlie was standing up for me. But I left. I didn't shoot that guy.
All right, then. We're gonna need you to write that up.
Where you at with your case?
Son copped to the sex change, but he's still denying involvement, so we got his dad coming in, and we'll go at him again.
Where's the son now?
The coffee room. Let him calm down a bit.
15 squad.
It's for you, Detective. Sit, boys. Who is this? Say who you are, you big pussy. Hello. PAB again. That's all the guy said. PAB. John, do a search for anybody with initials PAB, either on the job or in the system.
What's PAB?
I don't know. Do you know anything stand for PAB that you know of?
Police, athletic. No, I don't know. Sorry. Let's ask Grizzly Adams here. Referring to the stubble you got going.
Be clean shaven tomorrow.
That'd be appropriate.
We got a little bit of a deadlock here, boss. The bodyguard's putting it on Zoe. Zoe's saying she walked away while the bodyguard and the DOA were still arguing. They're both dug in on their stories.
Bodyguard's downstairs in a cell. Zoe's in interview 3. We're gonna let him think about it a while.
Release the girl, keep him in custody. Get the DA's office hip and let them decide how they want to proceed. Because I don't want to get into an overtime situation if they're both dug in.
We're not angling for overtime.
Fine, but just give it to the DA.
Well, problem is we tend to believe the bodyguard.
Include that in your conversation with the DA.
But based on just the facts, they'll go after him for a plea deal, which, you know, might be a railroad.
This way, Mr. Purgazer.
Give it to the DA's office. Let them decide what they want to do.
Well, you're covering for your son, aren't you, Mr. Purgazer? Because when Dr. Miller called last night, it wasn't about some whore who got the wrong idea, because we looked into it and there's no indication of any of that happening.
Okay, then here's what happens. This case goes to a grand jury. This case goes public, and that's a secret that Eric has been working so hard to keep a lid on. Everybody's gonna know. Do you want that for your son?
Eric's been through so much as it is, more than any person should have to endure.
Did Dr. Miller know about the sex change? Did he perform it?
He did the first one.
Which first one?
When Eric was an infant, when he got circumcised, there was an accident.
What kind of an accident, Mr. Purgazer?
The device that they used was electric. There was a malfunction, and he was burned. The whole organ was... it was gone.
And, Dr. Miller, he came into your life at that point?
He heard about it somehow. He approached me and my wife. He had this theory about nature versus nurture, and, well, he assured us it would work.
So he performed the surgery on Eric?
Yes. And it was part of Dr. Miller's theory that once we committed to it, we could never tell Eric. Well, that didn't work. In his heart, Eric always knew that he was a boy, and so finally, we told him when he was 18.
Now, 3 years ago, Eric tried to commit suicide.
Dr. Miller wouldn't leave him alone. And when Dr. Miller called him and said that he was coming over for a talk, well, that was too much for Eric to take. And that's when I told him that if he ever tried to contact Eric again, I'd kill him.
Are you covering for your son, Mr. Prager?
I went to Dr. Miller's hotel last night. I knocked on the door. He answered it, and I shot him.
All right.
See, I'd forgiven Dr. Miller for what happened back then. We agreed to it. It seemed like the only option. But when he kept popping up into Eric's life, well, I warned him. He wouldn't listen.
Why wouldn't he leave your son alone?
I don't know. I mean, he was obsessed. It was like Eric was his Frankenstein or something. He kept wanting Eric to go public so that he could go down in history, I guess. I don't know.
All right, listen to me. We're gonna go talk to Eric to confirm this. Once we do, we're gonna come back here and help you with your statement. You understand?
Okay.
What's up, Ted?
Hey, remember you asking me to keep an eye on that King Tut character?
Yeah, anything?
Did you give him any money for cooperating?
$20. Why?
I just saw him walking into a hotel nearby with all new gear and a hooker on his arm.
Which hotel?
The Camden Arms over on 2nd. You owe me a cold one for this.
You got it.
Is that what happened?
Meaning what?
You did this and your dad is covering for you.
No.
You were home last night.
Dr. Miller, he called me and said he was planning on writing a book on the surgery. All my life. How he saved me. He never got it. He just never admitted. I always felt I was a boy. Here I was, wearing a dress, getting teased, wishing I was dead. Every year I'd go and I'd have these therapy sessions with him and I'd tell him these things and he wouldn't listen. Even after my parents told me. And even after I had my sex changed back, he'd never admit that he was wrong. He never apologized.
Did you know your dad was gonna go over there last night?
No. All I did was tell him that Dr. Miller had found me again and he wanted to write the book. My dad said he'd take care of it. What's gonna happen to my dad now?
We're gonna do everything we can to see if this can go down as manslaughter.
I don't blame my dad for what happened to me as a kid. I mean, they didn't know what else to do. All I'm saying is, he's not a killer. He's not a bad guy. But Dr. Miller wouldn't leave me alone.
All right. Wait here, okay? I got an idea how to work this, so just follow my lead.
Fine. What the hell is going on here?
Wait outside. I'll be with you in a minute.
We'd like to have a quick word with you, Lieutenant.
In a minute. Now wait outside.
No. We really need to talk now.
I'm not gonna say it again, Detective. Now get out of here.
Where'd you get the money for all this?
I told you. I had a scratcher that paid off big.
Where'd you buy it?
At a bodega.
Where?
Albuquerque. Where the hell you think I bought it? Here in the city.
Let me ask you something, King. Where would you like to be headed to in the next 5 minutes? Back outdoors or down to an 8x10 cell? And I'm not joking.
I ain't got no money. It's all gone. And you ain't getting that back.
Where'd you get it?
From this white chick named Zoe that was hanging out with the illness last night.
Why'd she give it to you?
Okay, that the situation had been just reversed and that had been me laying on that shot and the illness had been offered cash, he'd have done the same damn thing, so I ain't got no guilt on my consciousness.
Why did Zoe give you money?
I was headed back up to the squat last night, and I see this crazy bitch pointing a gun at the illness and yelling, "Say it again, say it again." Well, he must have said what he wasn't supposed to say, because she went pow, 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 and the illness was down. And I jumped back in the shadows. And the dude that was with her, he came up and said something to her and took the gun and boogied. And she just stood there. And I walked up to her and I said, "Girl, do you know what the hell you just done?"
And what'd she say?
Well, she's yipping and yelling about who knows what. The girl was high, y'all. She promised me money if I kept her secret. And I said I had to think about it. She said $5,000 cash, and I said I was done thinking about it. And I met her in front of the liquor store on Bleecker Street, 10:30 a.m. Because she said she'd wait till her bank opened.
Wait here.
Before you say anything, the timing of that sucked, and I'm sorry for that. Obviously, I would have preferred that we'd had a chance to talk about a scenario like that before it actually happened.
What was your problem with what happened?
How exactly were you going to help him with his statement? Were you going to suggest that the DOA was threatening to kill him when he didn't? Were you going to tell him to say that the DOA came at him in a threatening manner when he hadn't?
Did you not hear what the son went through?
I did. And it's messed up. And if this goes to trial, the jury will hear it too, and they'll do their jobs.
You gonna take statements for us now? Type the 5s, testify in court?
No, because now we're clear and something like that won't happen again.
Look, I don't know how much contact you've had with the real world while you were out there locking up cops.
I had plenty of contact.
Okay, haven't done this for a while.
And make another comment like that again, and you know, we're gonna have a real problem.
I'm sorry, that came across wrong, Lieutenant. It's just that when you deal with a wide spectrum of people, you sometimes come across a good person who did a bad thing. Those people deserve consideration, and being able to provide that consideration has been a long-standing tradition in the New York City Police Department.
Yeah, not to mention that in the station house is most times the only place in the whole system where justice is really done.
In a fender bender? Maybe. But not when it involves murder. In that circumstance, your job as a detective is to ascertain what happened and then document what happened. Your job is not to reinterpret or recreate the facts of a homicide as you see fit. Now, I'm sorry, but this conversation is over. Kick the son, process the dad. We're done, guys.
I got 32 years on this job. I always planned on leaving on my terms, and that day's not too far away. But if I can't do my job, one that I can live with morally, then I'm out the door.
Well, eventually, that's a decision that every cop has to make. It's never an easy one.
Andy, you drive your car today?
Yeah.
You're not gonna like this.
You gotta be kidding me. PAB.
What's it say? Andy.
Payback's a bitch. This isn't a joke.
Where's Zoe?
With her attorney. We'll get her to central booking afterwards.
Desk sergeant told me you had a cop out there today keeping an eye on a witness.
Yeah, cop's name was Ted Keogh.
That's really heads up. I'll put a good word in for you with the chief.
Or you could just put a good word in for Ted. He did all the legwork.
Well, it was a little rocky today, but it's important that you all know something. No disrespect to former bosses, but I was sent here to replace Sergeant Gibson because it's the department's perception that this is a rogue outfit. So I come with a specific mandate from my bosses to make this squad reflect today's job, today's policing, and it's gonna happen. So I ask that you join me in accomplishing what I've been instructed to do. In return, you will have my complete allegiance and support. If you elect not to, you won't be working here anymore. I'm afraid it's that simple. And I hope that doesn't happen for anyone here. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, can it, John?
How perfect was that, huh?
Can it?
We're so screwed.
I'm on my last nerve as it is. So lose the stupid grin or I'm gonna jump across his desk.
All right, guys, come on.
Maybe I should take off then.
Good idea.
You got the fives?
Yeah. You hurry up and get your ass into happy hour.
Read my mind. Hey, first day beer celebration on me.
I'm fine. Thanks, though.
All right.
What are we gonna do, Andy?
Nothing. I ain't changing a damn thing. Previously on NYPD Blue.
Lieutenant Thomas Bale, how's everyone doing today?
I've heard the name Bale from Internal Affairs. You related?
That's me. I realize that carries a certain stigma, but I think you'll find me to be an excellent boss.
Time to start covering your ass will be right about now, guys. How many nights you been out tying one on this
Just
week?
listen to what you just said, because it's got nothing to do with work. That's me out having a good time, which I'm entitled to.
It's hard enough for a female on the job to get respect. One of the ways to lose it in a hurry is if you're flirtatious with the guys.
I've never had a problem with a guy in a work situation. The only problems I've ever had are with other women on the job.
What the hell is this?
That's a dead rat, Andy.
PAB. What the hell does that mean?
What's it say?
Payback's a bitch. This isn't a joke.
Female, DOA, Tina Most. Dumped in a garbage bag, real pregnant. Bruises on her neck. ID says she's 18.
She's near term on a pregnancy. Construction guy found her?
Saw her hand sticking out of the garbage bag.
Where's her ID?
Clark's got it.
Where's Clark?
In his car around the corner. He said to rouse him when you got here.
You mean like wake him up? He can wake his own ass up. Pregnant female, DOA. Clark's in his car, racked out.
Seems like he's keeping a lot of late nights.
Yep.
You want me to get him?
Are you his mother? Because I'm not.
He just followed us out the door.
What do we got? Female, DOA. We'll work up the scene, start a canvas. Any updates, you're the first to know.
Actually, let's all digest the crime scene and confer before starting the canvas.
Yeah, well, I've already digested the crime scene. You want to confer down the line? Call me on my cell.
Just stick around. We'll meet up first, make sure we're all rolling in the right direction. 20 minutes back here. Detective Clark?
He already started a canvas.
Reel him in. 20 minutes. Who found it?
I'll get John.
It's covered. I got it. John!
All right. Yeah, thanks, Dave. Yeah, appreciate it.
You're making me nervous. The fish are all huddled at the bottom of the tank.
Taking a snooze, maybe?
No, they huddle at the bottom when there's sulfur up top. And they're listing, too. How long they been listing?
Got a guy to see if you're interested.
Why not?
Greg? Baldwin? Robbery. Residence on first and name. Woman named Lorraine Stuvall.
Where are you two going?
We got a guy to talk to off a voicemail to the DOA, Tina Most.
How'd you get the voicemail?
She lived with her folks. We made notification that said she got an odd voicemail recently, which they saved.
Love to hear it.
It was from a guy named Michael Cozen who was calling with condolences on her miscarriage.
Emmy said Tina was 8 months along, so that doesn't make sense.
This guy Michael left the number, which we traced, so we're gonna go get him.
What else do we know about Tina Most?
She did 6 months in Rikers for meth sales. Got out 8 weeks ago.
All good? The voicemails, arrest records, guys we're gonna grab up? I like to know everything that's going on in my squad, so keep me informed to the minute.
The fish are listing. They're on a lean. Might be a problem with the water.
Well, who handles that?
I do.
Well, keep me informed.
Morning, Miss Stoufel. How you doing?
Not so well.
Can you tell us what happened?
I was robbed by a man in a mask.
How'd he get in?
He knocked. I opened the door because I forgot to check the peep.
What happened then?
He punched me and he taped me up. And when I tried to yell, he said, "Shut up, bitch." And then he wrapped the tape around my face. He didn't have to hit me. I would have given him anything he wanted.
What would he take, ma'am?
My grandmother's diamond ring, hidden under the mattress.
Did you always keep it there?
I just got it out of the safe deposit box to sell. Just because I'm so broke right now.
Well, who knew you had the ring there?
Just me,
You live alone here, ma'am?
with my husband.
Is that him?
It's our wedding day.
From the photo, it looks like you got married in a penitentiary.
He wasn't involved in this, and I will not hear any sort of prejudice against him.
What did your husband do time for?
He got life on a robbery homicide, which wasn't a homicide. The store clerk had a heart attack 2 days later. He was released 6 months ago.
Thought he got life.
He got his sentence commuted for saving a corrections officer during a riot on his tier, proving that he has a good heart and he wouldn't have had anything to do with this.
We'll still need to talk to him, ma'am.
If you could tell us his name and where he might be.
Leon Belkin. He's maybe at the scrap bar. Please tell him I know he wasn't involved.
We will.
Thank you.
Have a seat. Mr. Cozen, a girl named Tina Most was attacked last night, so we're talking to folks on her phone record. Your name came up.
Is Tina all right?
How'd you know her?
We're friends, me and Tina and my wife.
Friends from where?
I don't understand the question.
18-year-old speed dealers don't hang much by Columbus Avenue.
Unless it was a little, commerce, went along with friendship.
No. Tina was our birth mother. We were going to adopt her baby, but 2 days ago she miscarried.
Was that the condolence call you left on our machine?
My wife and I were devastated.
Mr. Cozen, Tina Most was murdered.
You just said she was assaulted.
And if you know anything about this, or if you found out that she was pulling a con, now's the time to let us know.
What con? What does that mean?
Tina was pregnant when she died, fully.
You're saying she lied to us?
And you calling her a friend at first, like the adoption was a big secret, tells us you might be too.
The adoption process wasn't entirely legitimate. It wasn't, God, this sounds so dirty. It was an unofficial transaction.
You were buying her kid?
My wife has endometriosis. I have a motility issue.
You scumbag.
Excuse me?
All right, let's move on.
Hey, there's some cash around, so why not buy a kid?
We've endured 3 years of fertility injections, anxiety, depression. Adoption was near impossible.
How much had you paid Tina so far?
$5,000?
Which you lost when she miscarried?
We were told that it had been spent on our prenatal care to that point.
Told by who?
Steve McClintock, the nurse at our fertility clinic. He was sort of the go-between. He introduced us to Tina.
And how'd that transpire?
You'd have to ask my wife.
Name of the clinic, numbers for Steve.
And anyone who can account for your whereabouts last night till this morning.
That part of your new method too, huh? Just blurt out anything that comes in your mind?
Buying a kid, that's not a scumbag move?
He was being cooperative.
Well, he's still cooperative. Andy knows he's an asshole. I don't see the harm.
Whatever you thought was being kept out of your work is leaking in.
Come on.
2 months ago, you never would have blurted out scumbag.
Well, I've seen you do 10 times worse.
Not with the guy I just brought in who was working with me.
Oh, is that the rule?
You lost your temper because you're hungover.
I had 2 beers last night.
Then you're sleep-deprived and sour because of the whores and staying out all night.
No, Andy, whores was you. I'm plucking off secretaries.
It don't matter.
Yes, it does, because it's worse. Everything you did was worse, but now you're reformed and a saint. Tell me how to fix my life? You're a hypocrite.
You don't want to be talking like that.
Hold his hand, kiss his ass, work him however you want.
Got some interesting ink on you, Balkan. What's that there? The double lightning bolts. Aren't those earned for a violent act against a minority? And SWP. The Supreme White Palmer, right?
What am I doing here?
Where you been all day, Leon?
Looking for work.
I recall finding you in a bar.
I look for scrub work at 3 construction sites, delivery jobs at 4, takeout joints, bike messenger work. Nobody's hiring. What's up?
Your wife got robbed today.
She all right?
You know anything about it?
Hell no.
Who's Joe Hess?
Now, before saying you don't know him, we got 15 calls between you two.
And we know you did jail time together upstate, both for armed robbery.
Joe's a friend of mine.
What other conversations?
Catching up.
What along the lines of, hey, Joe, guess we can get our hands on a diamond ring?
What diamond ring? Lorraine doesn't got no diamond ring.
The one she got from the safe deposit to sell, that she said you knew about and knew she kept under the mattress.
Lorraine wouldn't leave a nickel where I could find it, let alone a diamond ring. Why's she putting this on me?
Because your life of con sprung on a technicality?
Sprung for saving a CO from getting hanged, which he was seconds away from.
But my point being, Leon, it doesn't seem like things are so great at home. You got no money, no job. You got to be in debt to someone.
I don't know anything about her getting robbed.
Is that what Joe Hess is gonna say, or does he have the brains to get in front of this? We know you're broke and that you knew about the ring.
I don't know nothing about it. Nothing. Screw you.
And love that positive lifer attitude.
Contact center procedure. They're getting them.
Hi, I'm Steve McClintock.
Detective Sipowicz and Clark. You know a girl named Tina Most?
Yeah, sure, right?
How do you know her?
And I volunteer weekends down at the Bowery Free Clinic. She's a patient.
Michael Kozin and his wife, Julia, you set them up with Tina?
But you don't want the not-so-free clinic to know about it?
The Cozens were desperate, so was Tina. I just made a phone call.
Oh, and ripped the Kozins off for $5 grand.
The prenatal care for Tina Most's kid that she supposedly miscarried.
What do you mean, supposedly?
Well, as of this morning, Tina was still pregnant.
Well, then she lied. She lied to me.
Or you're running a scam.
No. I'm not even involved. All I did was pass on information.
Michael Kozin makes you more of an active third party.
Yeah, well, he's wrong. You know, a very rich lady's on the procedure table back there with her legs in the air, so...
Where were you last night to this morning?
I've really got to get back.
Tina Most was murdered, Steve. We're talking now.
My God, it's awful.
Where were you last night till this morning?
I was with my girlfriend at her apartment.
Who was she? Where do we find her?
Her name's Carly Landis. So awful.
Let's get you to Station House. That's the best place to absorb it.
I'm in the middle of a procedure.
Okay. Someone needs to take over for him.
Let's go.
Copper? Overdosage of copper. 10 times what you'd ever need.
What'd you put in copper for?
I didn't.
You're the only one who treats a tank.
I'd only use copper if I saw ruthenium, which I don't and never have in this tank. It wasn't me.
Anybody touch the fish tank?
Just dump some pennies in.
These fish are dying here. Okay. So, what do you do about it?
Partial water cleansing, then filter with activated carbon. But first I gotta get some water to get the fish out of here.
All right, whatever you gotta do, I'll cover it. It's my dime.
Go answer at home from Carla Landis.
She's also not the work number McClintock gave you, but she's a registered nurse at various clinics. Today she's at the Rose Singer Infirmary.
At Rikers?
The DOA Tina Most did 6 months in Rikers. They must have known each other.
So Carly Landis was part of this adoption scam?
We'll ask the question.
She's scheduled to be at the infirmary in half an hour.
Great job.
How's she working out?
We got different approaches.
Admit it. You're jealous.
Of what?
Yeah, she's Miss Cute, all bubbly. Guys dig her.
So I should be jealous of that?
All right, we got someplace to be.
You want to partner up with her? Sack out in your car like you've been doing, steam up the windows a little, be my guest.
Damn. What'd he say?
We're leaving.
To where?
Rikers. Talk to Steve McClintock's girlfriend.
And McClintock's still down in the cell?
Yeah, like we told her.
And how's the girlfriend fit in?
She's the girlfriend, huh? She's banging the guy. Instead of pulling in random people off the street, we figure she might be worth the conversation.
Do you remember an announcement I made earlier about being kept up to the minute? Because this is the first I heard about a girlfriend.
I'll get you up to speed, boss.
Great. But the next time I have to ask, someone takes a rip. Everyone clear?
Have a seat, Mr. Hess.
Found some interesting things in your apartment, Joe. Photographs of Ed's check cashing store, notes on the hours of operation, how many employees.
You going into the check cashing business?
How the hell?
You're involved in this with Leon Belkin?
What's he saying?
He gave you up for consideration over ripping off his wife. Get us the ring back, you could get some too.
Wait, what the hell are you talking about?
Belkin's wife. You busted in, taped her up.
Belkin said I robbed his wife.
We're telling you what we know.
Well, you got your head in your ass, chimp. Sorry.
Wait, you just called me a chimp?
I got nothing more to say to you guys. I ain't ever seen this stuff before. I don't know nothing about Leon Belkin. I want to see my lawyer.
I'm gonna break your ribs for calling me a chimp.
Ease up, Mighty Joe.
See, that bait and crap might work in the joint with 10 of your skinhead homies around. But this is the real world, Joe.
All right.
In the real world, you talk smack, there's consequences. Same for beating on a lady and taking her jewelry.
I didn't rob anyone.
He's losing focus.
I've been calling Belkin for 2 months to go in on the check cashing robbery with me, but he wouldn't do it.
You pay him back by robbing his wife?
No!
You never been to his place?
No.
Because if we find out different, I'm gonna beat you till you kiss blood. I swear it.
I've never been there. Ever.
Carly Landis.
Hey, it's Clark and Sipowicz.
Okay.
You know Tina Most?
She was a prisoner.
What do you know about a business arrangement that she had with your boyfriend, Steve?
I don't know about any business arrangement, but I know that he was helping Tina find the best adoptive family for her baby.
You know about him selling her child and then lying about a miscarriage?
Stephen would never do that.
Well, someone did. To a family named Cozen.
Well, then it must have been Tina. She wasn't above lying to people, and she was in some pretty bad debt.
To
Drug dealer she burned. She said that she owed him $20,000.
Or you're lying and there's a scam going on here.
Whatever money Stephen had access to from the Cozens was spent on TRW reports, private investigators, and prenatal care for Tina. He kept none of that money.
How'd he find Tina? Through you?
No.
You didn't get a sense of her in the infirmary here and then set her up with Steve?
Get a sense of her for what?
her willingness to run this adoption con on desperate yuppies.
There's no con. At least there's not one that Steve and I know about.
Yeah, but there is an unlicensed adoption scheme.
That's an awfully dirty way to describe an efficient path through mountains of red tape.
That's a coincidence that Tina did time at Rikers where you work.
Stephen volunteers at a free clinic.
The Bowery Free Clinic.
Which gives excellent free medical care. I told her about it. That's the coincidence.
You need to account for your whereabouts last night to early this morning.
At home, watched a movie, went to sleep. Why?
Where was Steve last night?
With me. Why?
That's when Tina Most was murdered.
My God. We had nothing to do with it.
I think you still need to come in.
Number 3, say the line.
Shut up, bitch.
Step back.
Nope, not him. Can I hear the next one?
Number 4, say the line.
Shut up, bitch.
Crime scene got a fingerprint hit at a Lorraine Stuvell's apartment for another con, Lenny Kessler.
And what do you do time for?
Car theft and phony prescriptions. He also took a collar for indecent exposure, so a diverse career.
I'll run the name by her.
Meantime, we got his address. Grab him up.
He's all yours.
Thanks. Oh,
Lay off the Twinkies, pal. You're going soft. I was just being friendly. See, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. Well, he doesn't seem the type to take it wrong. I'm saying when you shotgun it out there, someone's bound to. So your advice is don't be friendly? I'm saying what you're doing could be misinterpreted. I think I'd rather be misinterpreted than walk around with a stick up my ass. Well, now you're just being rude. Didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
Now, kid, and touch your arms inside. Don't be shy.
Lenny Kessler? Police, we heard you in there. Open the door. I'm planning on taking the door. That work for you? Fine. Nobody move!
These are friends of mine.
Ladies on the bed.
No money's changed hands.
Better soon.
Expensive party. Lenny, where'd you get the cash?
My aunt died, and that's the hooker's blow.
Lie!
And I'd like a good explanation of why you burst in here.
At the station house.
Much as you might like it, we're not taking you naked. Pants on.
Son of a bitch.
Another one.
They're dropping like flies. No way it's an accident, huh? All that copper?
I can't see how.
Terrorism.
It's not funny, man.
This is towards me. The dead rat, then the vandalizing the car, now this.
Any candidates? No, I mean someone recent with access to the squad.
Fraker?
Oh, Pat Fraker?
A friend of yours?
I just know of him. And the Reed Ortiz put a bullet in his back.
A bullet so he didn't murder your predecessor.
There's a few takes on that. Anyway, he's pretty much disappeared, so I don't see him poisoning your fish tank.
I'm gonna Stan Hatcher. That ain't go well.
You got intel on him, too?
All I know about Stan Hatcher is he transferred in here and then retired abruptly. Little business? I just took a phone call from a woman named Pauline Weichel. She's home.
Good. Is it okay we go pick her up?
No, actually, it's not. I didn't know who she was, and that came across.
Well, we'll be sure to tell her you're the guy in charge.
Well, boss, we found Pauline Weichel off some research into Steve McClintock's bank records. He wrote her 4 checks for over $2,000 in the last year.
And she did 12 weeks in Rikers during her pregnancy.
So you're thinking McClintock's been running this adoption scam with other women?
That's how we're going at her.
Were you aware of this research?
Just what I overheard.
Then it's only you and Clark taking a one-day rip.
You gotta be joking.
Did I make a specific announcement about being kept informed? Did I make a second announcement with the warning that if I wasn't informed, there'd be discipline?
Look, things move fast around here, Lieutenant. It's a waste of time.
To keep the boss informed so that he can properly handle phone calls from suspects or interviewees, or from the brass, or from the chief of D's, or 1PP? You think it's a waste of time? I don't. A one-day rip, or we'll go to the trial room.
I know this is a bad time here, Detective, but Clown Loach is belly up.
He made us laugh.
All right, that's enough being a wise ass. You hear me?
So you're clear at the outset, Lenny. The coke, the whores, and the stolen ring puts you at a disadvantage.
Like just walking in your collar.
You want to work off the coke and pros? Where'd you get the ring?
It was given to me.
Lorraine Stuvall gave it to you.
Yeah.
Payment for tying her up and beating the crap out of her?
No, she gave me $300 for that. Ring was gonna be returned.
Why would she pay you for beating her face in?
I don't know. Insurance fraud, maybe?
You didn't ask why?
Lorraine's not the kind of woman you question a whole lot.
Because?
She's a battle axe. She likes pushing me around.
So you were banging her? So you'd do anything she said?
Maybe I like being pushed around. Still, I don't know why she wanted to stage a robbery.
Well, you're gonna need to make some educated guesses, or you're on the hook for robbery and assault.
She'd been miserable since his husband showed up. Then she called up, needed me for this thing. That's all I know.
Did you try and frame her husband for it?
I don't know.
What do you know, Lenny? Because we're getting frustrated.
She likes convicts. And she married this guy thinking he'd spend the rest of his life in jail. And then when he got out, she wanted no part of him.
Why not?
All she'd say is, he's institutionalized. He's institutionalized.
Meaning what?
I don't know. I swear, I don't know.
Your schedule clear? Because you're gonna be here for a while.
Have a seat, Miss Weichel.
Thanks.
You know Steve McGlintock?
Sorry.
He wrote you 4 checks for over $2,000 and you don't know him?
Oh, yeah, that's Steve.
Oh, yeah, that's Steve. Yeah, what was the money for?
Stereo equipment.
Oh, you deny knowing him over stereo equipment?
It was my ex-boyfriend's who may have acquired it illegally. So I didn't.
You ever been in jail?
3 months in Rikers.
You were pregnant at the time?
Yeah.
You got the kid now?
Yeah.
You want to keep it?
Oh, God.
How'd you earn the money from him?
Is Steve gonna know that I talked to you?
He might.
Oh, that's reassuring.
Would you feel cozier in jail because you still owe 4 months?
I might be safer.
He threatened you?
You were part of his adoption scam.
Posing as a troubled single mom who just wants her baby in a good home.
How many couples you bilk?
4, 500 apiece by check. 2 of them bounced.
How'd you hook up with them?
His girlfriend in the Rikers infirmary steered me to a free clinic for when I got out.
Bowery Free Clinic.
Steve approached me there asking did I want to make some easy cash.
Why'd he threaten you?
Saying over and over that I miscarried was making me cry a lot. And what I was doing to these couples was making my soul feel rotten, which I did not want to pass on to my baby. So I threatened to cop to the scam with the last couple I worked. Steve said if I did, he'd shoot me in the head and dump my body in the river. And then he slammed me against the wall, and I nearly did miscarry. Do I really need to be a part of this? I just want to raise my boy.
Beat it. Pauline Weichel. You know her?
Yes?
How?
She's a very indecisive woman I met at the Bowery Free Clinic.
Indecisive?
She approached me about putting her child up for adoption. When it came down to actually committing to it, she'd back out.
How do you explain the $2,000 you paid her?
4 separate times, I found families like the Cozens that Pauline agreed would be perfect candidates to adopt her child. 4 separate times, I was supplied with money for background work, prenatal care. Each time, Pauline asked me to front her $500 for expenses, then she'd back out of the adoption.
And you kept the $20,000?
I returned all monies to all families, except for the $2,000 I lost to Pauline.
Why'd you threaten her?
I never did.
Never put her into a wall?
She said that.
You're running a con and you react bad when the girls get hinky about it. We know this. Did Tina Most get a conscience and you reacted?
All I ever did with Tina was try to help her.
Help her sell a child? Is that going to be your defense on this? Because they got a term for that. It's called white slavery.
Yeah, well, you can call it whatever you want. I help people, I don't con them.
Steve, before we lose any desire to work with you, you get a chance to tell us what happened with Tina.
Are you aware that she owed money to a drug dealer?
Did you lose your temper with her last night?
I was with Carly Landis last night, remember?
Do you want any degree of sympathy with a judge or jury?
I aided distraught families who can't conceive or adopt. I think I'll be fine.
Get up. Pauline Weichel said she ran the adoption miscarriage scam with Steve McClintock. McClintock's denying it.
So you spoke to McClintock again?
We did.
Shouldn't I have known?
And I plan to take a crap later. You want updates on that, too?
You're creeping up on insubordination.
Which I'm guessing you'd love. Any excuse to grind the heel in.
What's so tough about updating me on cases?
We got a system here.
It's changed, and you better change or you better leave. What's the next step?
McClintock's girlfriend, Carly Landis, said he was with her all night. We got her upstairs. See if she comes off it.
Get to it. What?
No survivors. Sorry.
Andy, Baldwin left this for you. It's where Stan Hatcher's working now.
Get Carly Landis this order. I'm taking some lost time.
Shouldn't you clear with Lieutenant Bale first? I bet he's a stickler about this kind of thing.
If you want to, I'm on the radio. Hatcher,
do you want?
Got a minute?
Sure don't. Well, let's catch a Mets game. Client lets me use his Diamond View suite. I'll call you. You don't want to put your hands on me, Sibley.
You been by the 15th lately?
No.
Because there's someone been leaving anonymous messages.
Not me.
If it was, though, now'd be the time to give it a rest.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Before folks start really taking offense.
You getting toyed with?
Someone's been coming by who forgot their manners. If it's you, this is your reminder.
This is fantastic. I love this. The great asshole tastes some karma.
All right, there you go. Have your laugh, but you only get the one.
No. I'll be laughing about this all night.
You're done now, or I'll be back.
I wish to hell it was me, Sipowicz, but it's not. Sorry. Now, if you don't mind, I have my prosperous life to get back to. Cigars to smoke, cognac to sip. My best to the squad.
Lenny Kessler admitted to doing the robbery.
What? Well, that's impossible.
He's writing up a statement now. And he brought up a few things that we should talk about. Mainly, your relationship with your husband, Leon.
Maybe the transition you were talking about earlier was a little more difficult than you made out.
It's definitely been trying.
You ever wish you never got out of jail?
That's a terrible thing to say.
But apparently you did say it to more than one of your co-workers.
Why have you been talking to my co-workers?
You know, it must have been a real shock hearing your husband was getting out of jail.
And a guy like Leon, with 15 years under his belt, who never expected to see the light of day, he's gonna have a few jailhouse quirks.
Yeah, joint mentality, can't get work. Technology freakouts. I bet the guy never seen a cell phone before.
That's more than trying. Am I right?
Why are you asking me these questions?
Lenny Kessler said you planned the robbery.
Planned this?
If you got fed up with your living arrangement and you did something foolish to change it, we need to know right now.
I was robbed and beaten.
Which Lenny Kessler, your friend, is a caller for and will go to jail for unless you say different.
You should be talking to Leon.
No. Leon's out of this. And if you take it any further, we will be talking to the DA about how you tried to get Leon thrown back in jail for something he didn't do. And you will be charged accordingly.
Since when does a life sentence without parole mean 15 years?
He saved a guy's life.
He's totally institutionalized.
How?
Well, he shovels food in his face, he screams in his sleep, reads and watches nothing but porno.
He'd only been out a little while.
How many months of getting drilled in the can could you take before pulling the plug? I like men who are grateful for your company. They're rough on the outside, soft on the inside. They care that you made the trip to see them and write them letters, so they treat you gently. They aren't terrified of honking car horns or always asking permission to leave a room. Leon was fine in the pen. Outside, he's useless. He belongs in jail.
Not your decision.
So what's going on?
Tina Most, a decent girl.
She seemed like it.
What was her attitude about pulling this adoption scam on the rich folks? She all
There's
in or?
no scam.
The other women you ran the con with will testify there was.
Sorry, I don't know what women you're talking about.
We talked to Pauline Weichel, and we're looking at the other girls that you steered from the Rikers Infirmary to the Bowery Free Clinic.
Reliable medical care was the only thing that I steered them towards.
And you knew nothing past that.
Nothing.
Then why did you lie about being home all night with Steve?
I didn't.
No? Well, his credit card was used late last night at a market downtown. The clerk ID'd his photo.
Oh, God, is that Tina?
8 months pregnant and strangled to death. Now, if Tina was decent, you think she might have got a conscience about running these scams?
No, listen, I swear to you, I don't know anything about any scam.
Steve threatened to kill Pauline if she got a conscience. He said he'd put a gun to her head, blow her brains out, and dump her in the river.
Oh, my God.
Look at this girl. Does she deserve to die like this? Then why are you lying for the guy who did it? He threatened you? When?
First time was a while ago. It was
looking for something in his drawer once, and I found a gun, and then he put it to my head.
What did you know about this scam?
Nothing, I swear! But I did know that there was something a little bit off about those adoptions.
Was he with you all night?
When did he come home?
He came home late. He was frantic. He said that something bad had happened with Tina, and that if I said anything, if anyone asked that he had been home all night long, if I said anything different, he would kill me. He had his hand on my throat.
What'd you buy at the Canal Street Market at 2 in the morning last night?
I was home all night.
We got you ID'd at the market. What did you buy?
I didn't go to any market.
Heavy-duty garbage bags and rope. That's what the clerk said.
I was home all night with my girlfriend.
She says different.
You came home agitated and threatened to kill her if she didn't back you up.
Not true.
You're a half-assed con man, Steve. You barely covered your tracks. And the worst thing you could do now is keep an eye on this and go to trial without an angle.
Tina got a heart, threatened to expose your scam, you strangled her. Spur of the moment.
Or sit behind that defense table with your blown-apart alibi and your Ted Bundy looks and watch the horror creep over the faces of your jurors when they see big, blown-up photos of how you strangled Tina Most, 8 months pregnant, and left her like garbage in a dumpster.
Do you have any physical evidence tying me to her death?
Steve, Slick isn't working anymore. Realize we're trying to help you here.
So that's a no.
Last chance.
I got nothing to say.
Get up. You're a caller for grand larceny, con game, unlawful adoptions, and murder.
And you're a scumbag. That's when it's appropriate.
Free to go.
All right. What about the robbery?
Your wife staged it. She wanted you locked up again.
Why?
She wasn't too hip on you coming home in the first place.
Oh. She didn't give me much of a chance, you know?
You like being down here, Leon? Did you not hear you're free to go?
Can I just get something straight here? Inside, I did what I had to stay alive.
We're talking the Nazi stuff?
I was 18 when I went in. I had long hair and a baby face. I didn't have much choice.
Did someone also force you into robbing that convenience store? Exit that way.
Lorraine gonna let me live in the apartment till she's out?
Don't count on it.
Great. I'm on the street.
I'm crying.
You did nice work with Kessler. You ran the room. Thanks. I had a partner once, Joe Tuttle. He was real aggressive and extroverted. Everyone's pal. And I nearly left narcotics because of him. Just wasn't my style.
You quit partnering?
We stuck it out. And we were never great friends, but I learned from him. And I like to think he learned from me.
Listen, I appreciate you coming to talk. And just so I said it, I got no agenda. I'm just here to work. Night.
Night.
I signed it and put down all my contact information.
Good. And we're done for now.
I think it's just dawning on me how shaken up I am. Is there any chance that you could give me a ride home?
You mind taking Steve's central booking?
Thank you. I left my things in the back.
That's one you drop off and speed away from.
What does that mean?
She's more involved than she's saying. We just got no way to prove it right now, so my advice, drop her off and speed away.
You know what's screwed? Either you really think I need that advice, or this is another case of your past getting dropped on me.
Look, I bang plenty of whores, but never someone involved in a case. I wouldn't do that. No one does.
I'm just giving her a ride home.
Good.
Empty.
Thanks. Driving over here, I had this terrifying feeling he was here.
Sure.
I know, it's irrational.
No. Had a hell of a day.
I just wish there was something that I could have done to save Tina.
You're doing what you can so that Steve can't hurt anyone else.
I guess you're right.
I should head out.
You want a beer or something?
No, no thanks.
Please stay for a minute. I'm feeling a little bit dizzy.
You sick?
I feel like I fell off of a cliff. It's like my whole life got churned up.
Might not be much comfort, but you're better off.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm scared to be alone right now.
You're gonna be all right.
You know, any second he walk through that door. That's how I feel.
No, it's not gonna happen. He's in jail and he's not gonna come out.
I still can't stop shaking.
Maybe he'll stick around for a little while.
I hope you don't think I'm actively seeking out a war with you.
You want to know what I honestly think?
Shoot.
You don't know what you're doing. So to compensate, you're nickel and diming this squad to death.
So the squad has no room to improve?
I don't think so, but if you do, try something past following your boss handbook like it was scripture.
When I know the status of cases and the whereabouts of my detectives to the minute, I'll back off. Until then, if I'm uninformed, it's a rip. When there's insubordination, it's a rip. And when one of my detectives takes lost time without my consent, not the PAA, it's a rip.
How many days I get for that?
2. Like I said, get along, or you...
I hear you.